Hit me with the intro music.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle.
Oh, my bad. Wrong one.
What the fuck was that? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beer and a Half Movie Reviews. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Tyler.
And today's episode is brought to you from our houses. So no video this week. This is a strict audio-only episode. Unfortunately...
So
Today,
everybody
me and
that
Tyler-
is watching this on YouTube, get fucking baited.
Is it on YouTube? Are you gonna put it on
yeah,
YouTube?
it's on YouTube. They're listening to it on YouTube.
All right, future people. Hey, what's up on YouTube? Sorry we didn't have a video this week.
Yeah, we had to work,
We
and no.
had to work, and we just couldn't get time to get together and do it. So we're just doing it from the comfort of our own houses. And I apologize if my mic does not sound as per usual. This is my at-home mic. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It'll work. It will work.
It's beautiful as is.
First of all, if you're listening, please do us that favor, whatever you're listening on, or YouTube, whatever. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on all of our social media platforms. I prefer Instagram. That's the one I check the most. I'm kind of an Instagram addict. I'm on it all the time. So
You get
wanna head on
your
over to that.
TikToks off Instagram, and you send them
I
to
do.
me, and then
Mhm.
I've seen them like 2 weeks ago, and you still send it to me. But I still do
Yeah.
you the honor of reacting to it because
Thank
I
you. I
enjoy
appreciate
it.
it.
And I want you to
It
feel
makes me-
validated.
Thank you. That's what I was just about to say. It makes me feel validated, so I appreciate that. I really do. Tyler, what movie did we do this week?
We did Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Coon City,
Welcome to
bitch.
Raccoon
City,
City.
bitch. Raccoon City, bitch.
Yeah, dude. I was very excited about this movie in particular. I am a huge Resident Evil fan. I have played a lot of the games multiple times. So when I hate that fucking soundboard. When I heard about this movie coming out, I heard it was gonna stay true to the games.
I had no idea
and
what was going on there.
The fuck the trailers all looked pretty accurate towards the games and stuff like that. I was a little confused on the timelines, which after watching the movie it made a little more sense, but we'll get into that. But yeah, super duper excited to watch this movie. This movie came out November 24th? Yeah, November 24th of 2021. It has an R rating, has a runtime of 1 hour and 47 minutes. Honestly, the movie flew by for me. Like, it went by pretty quick.
It was a good movie, though.
Directed by Johannes Roberts.
Johannes Roberts.
Is it Johannes?
Yes, sir.
Johannes.
That's the most American way I've heard somebody say a German name before.
My bad. I was told, or I read that he wasn't actually going to be the first director for this movie. Who's the guy that did Aquaman? It's James Wan or Wan? James Wan? Is that his name? I think so. Anyways, whoever directed Aquaman, I heard he was supposed to be the original director of this, and then because of some other stuff, and I think there was another guy too who was supposed to be in.
I looked
in
up
there
James
too.
Wan. He is a senior director in data science and analytics at PepsiCo. I looked up his LinkedIn. I think we have the wrong guy.
It's Wan something.
Let me look up Wan.
Yeah, it's
something.
James Wan. I was right.
Wan
It's James Wan.
something.
You looked up the wrong one.
Yeah.
There's that
My money
train.
don't jiggle jiggle, it folds.
The joys of recording from home. Who's in this movie? Let's go down a quick cast list. We got Kaya Scodelario. I'm just gonna run with that. As Claire Redfield. We got Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield. Not a huge fan of Robbie Amell, if I'm being real, but I did like him in this movie. We'll get into that. Hannah John Kamen. as Jill Valentine.
I don't think
Tom
John
Hopper.
came in her.
Is Tom Hopper is Albert Wesker. We got Yvonne Bogia. I'm gonna roll with that. As Leon Kennedy. Donald Logue as Chief Irons. Neil McDonough. McDonough. I don't know. William Birkin. And then kind of after the credits, little spoiler thingy. Lily Gao was Ada Wong. Chad Rook as Richard Aiken. Marina Mazepa as Lisa Trevor. Nathan Dales as Vickers. Josh Crudis as Ben Bertolucci. And Holly De Barros as Sherry Birkin. So a lot of characters that I'm super familiar with.
Did you say Neil McDonough?
Is that how you pronounce his last name?
McDonough. Yeah. I
Is
gotta
it
say,
Q?
yeah.
I thought it was just McDonough. McDonough. I read it as Hugh, but
I don't know.
whatever it is.
My favorite part of us doing the podcast is listening to you just like fucking
Straight
murder.
Butcher how these people's names are pronounced. Hey,
Yeah.
not good at it.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay.
Didn't get into this to enunciate last names. I apologize. Not the best.
It's okay. It's okay. Nobody out here is really judging you, other than me.
I do what I can. Yeah, Tyler, let's just get straight into this because I'm really excited to finally talk to you about this movie because I've seen you all day today
and have been able to not speak a goddamn word about it.
I almost slipped at one point in time, but I didn't. Tyler, what'd you like about this movie?
So there's a lot of things that I liked about this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I showed you
I'm not
my
gonna
list.
lie.
I
thought you were gonna hate it.
No. The first Resident Evil that I watched didn't really stay true to the game, obviously. This one stayed more true to the game, sort of. But we'll get into it.
Okay.
At the very beginning of it wasn't really the beginning, but at the beginning when Dr. Birkin got a call on his phone, his home phone. I don't know if you caught it, but it was a Sony phone. Didn't know they made those. Just like a home landline phone. Don't know if you caught that, but I like that.
No, I didn't. I did like how it was kind of shot from like a.
It's
I know
a
this
Sony
movie
Pictures
takes
film.
place in like what? This movie takes place in like 1980,
91, I thought.
or 1998. Sorry, 1998. I did like how it had like the way it was shot was kind of an 80s, late 80s, early 90s vibe. Like that shot when he's on the phone and it kind of shows him, but then it shows his family in the background. There was a lot of shots like that. I don't know. I did kind of like that.
It was weird, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I enjoyed the zombies going itchy tasty. Itchy tasty. I don't know if you caught that, but like the creepy redheaded family when they like broke into the house, just a woman was like itchy tasty, itchy tasty.
That's a reference to, I think it was the original Resident Evil, that there was a file somewhere that you'd read where like this it was like a document or something where like somebody was going insane and just kept writing that
itchy tasty. Yeah. I like, there was a part where basically at the beginning of the movie, Claire is riding into town with some weird trucker. Trucker hits a zombie. Zombie just like gets up, walks away. His dog comes out, starts eating a piece of zombie flesh. Anyway, dog turns into a zombie. Who'd have thought? Dog in truck bites dude. He is now becoming a zombie. Dude in a gas tanker like flips his truck in front of I almost call it the GCPD every time because Donald Logue was in Gotham.
Yeah.
So I keep the RPD.
Yep.
Crashed
RPD.
it crashed it right in front of the RPD. It explodes. Dude crawls out of it. Leon is just sitting behind the desk with his Sony headphones on, just completely oblivious to the fact that a man that is just burning alive walks into the gas station, into the police department, and then just a fucking Captain Irons just pops him. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. There's a little bit of comedy in this, but not like.
Yeah.
It was very few and far in between, but there were funny bits to it.
Yeah, there were some funny one-liners and stuff like that.
So skip forward a little bit when they get into the mansion. There was just like a balding Johnny Sins zombie running around. It was very funny to me. He looked just like Johnny Sins if he were a zombie. It was hilarious.
Which part?
Whenever they first get into the mansion, the team gets into the mansion.
Oh, the turnaround zombie. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a classic scene from the I think it was the second Resident Evil, but yeah.
But just the Johnny Sins zombie, man, got me going. I don't know why I put that in my likes. We'll move past that. The I don't know what exactly she was. Lisa Turner was her name.
Yeah, that is one character that I was not the biggest fan of in this. It's Lisa Trevor.
Lisa Trevor, yeah, I said that wrong.
Yeah.
So I didn't like the face mask that she wore. Like she's wearing people's faces. Cool and all. But when they get into the orphanage and the jumpy boy zombie, that's what I'm calling him.
Those were lickers.
She fucking takes her wooden shackles that she has around her wrist and just fucking snaps his jaw off, just clean off, and then takes his head off. I really liked that. That was fucking badass.
She was a character that I didn't really like because her character didn't really stay true to what she was in the games, but I guess I understand why they were going that way and everything. I mean, she looked a lot more grotesque in the games and stuff like that, and I know we
I don't know what you
talked about it today. This movie didn't have like the biggest budget ever.
Yeah, it's I don't even remember.
I don't know exactly how much it had, but regardless, her character, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't too far from what it was in the game. She's got her hands in the wooden block, kind of like handcuff thingies, and she's got the weird mask thing on. But just her character itself, like I'm pretty sure in the original, I can't remember if it was Resident Evil 3 or if it was 1, but I do remember her character is just somebody that just follows Chris and Jill around and just tries to murder them. And it's a character that you can not murder at all. And she's also kind of, if I'm not mistaken, her character is one of the main reasons they even get, I think it was the G virus, the T or G virus. I get them confused.
I genuinely don't remember.
I know she was experimented on a bunch and stuff like that, but I don't know, just the timeline of her, especially with Claire's little kid and everything, and we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't know. It was a character that I didn't really like too much.
So another thing that I really liked about the movie is whenever they were in the mansion fighting, and it was just Chris Redfield. I think it was Chris. Yeah. And everything went dark, and the only time you could see was with the muzzle flashes while he was just fucking murdering zombies.
Oh, yeah.
That was, honestly...
I love that, too, because he had his lighter, too, and that's from, it wasn't Resident Evil 1. I want to say it was 2 or 3. No, he's not in 2 or 3. I want to say it's Code Veronica. It's another one of the games, but yeah, there's the same scene where you can't see and he's got that lighter on him. So that part was definitely pulled out of one of the games, which I really liked.
But that itself,
but that whole scene, was
made
pretty
the movie
cool. That's
very enjoyable.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not a huge fan of Robbie Amell. I've seen him on a couple movies and stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't see the appeal and stuff like that. But whenever I heard he was cast as Chris Redfield, I was like, okay, I'm okay with this because he looks pretty identical to what we originally saw as Chris. I know later in like the games, everybody who hasn't played the games isn't really going to understand this, but progressively throughout the games, Chris gets more and more roided out to where he's just this huge fucking boulder punching son of a bitch. And originally, though, he was skinny, and it's pretty dead on to what this character looked like. And the way he acted and stuff like that, like I really think he pulled off the role. So I did enjoy his character, like throughout the whole movie.
I definitely
definitely
agree with that.
Yeah.
Just so I don't have to apologize for it now. Garrett, your audio is now going to be your mic audio, not the Discord audio that I was recording on accident because I forgot to hit the mute button.
Oh, nice.
But I caught it. Hey, I caught it about 15 minutes in, so that's the good news.
All right.
The bad news, maybe it's recording on two separate audio links. So who knows? Might not have an issue at all.
Okay.
Just wanted to state that for anybody listening and wonder why Garrett's audio just got really fucking crispy.
Oh shit! I dropped my mic.
That's why.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Anyways, a little bit later, whenever I almost called him Dr. Redfield, whenever Dr. Birkin and his family were down in his secret laboratory,
Yeah.
you just get a glimpse of the zombie just vibing on the table. And it wasn't like a zombie yet. It was one that they were like experimenting on.
Yeah, it had the, what's that called whenever doctors like cut you open? It was like an autopsy looking thing, but
yeah, that's what it's called.
yeah, but it's alive, you know?
I mean,
well, not really live, but you know what I mean.
My favorite thing is there's, I don't remember what it's called. There's like this like tasteless seed that you can, if it's ground up and dried up and everything like that, it'll put you in a paralyzed state for up to like 15 hours or something like that. And they thought this dude that was we'll say poisoned with it, they thought he was dead. So they started doing an autopsy on him while he was fully awake and aware of everything that was going on. And for some reason, when I watched that scene, I thought about that guy, and I was like, I hope he's doing okay. I swear to God,
I
dude.
like that part.
I swear to God, I was like, you know, they did this to a guy once. Like, I paused the movie just to tell Richie that. No. I don't actually think
I didn't like that scene. I didn't put it in my dislikes or anything like that, but I didn't like it because it's in the games, him and his wife were both like, his wife was basically playing dumb, like, you know, what are you doing? Like, well, I shouldn't say playing dumb. She genuinely had no idea what was going on with his work and everything else. But in the game, she was fully aware of what he was doing.
Maybe she's
yeah,
just
they kind of changed that. It wasn't like bad. It doesn't ruin the story or anything like that. But I don't know. Once again, I've played the game, so I wanted it to stay a little more true to the games. And it did a really good job of that in some places, but
let me just tell you this for everybody
just kind of
listening.
lacked in others.
Spoiler: his wife did not live long.
No.
So that's the good
She
news
got killed
for
in the games too. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if in the second one she did or not.
She just got fucking shot in the face.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Big time.
What else?
That was one thing I did like about that scene though, because Wesker's got the signature samurai edge pistol, which their task force, the STARS members, not including Leon, just them, and it didn't include I think it was like 2 or 3 other characters. I know for a fact in STARS they didn't include in the movie like Barry Burton and Rebecca Chambers, but anyways, they're all given that pistol that Wesker had, and it's like a Sig 9mm, like I don't know. It's a video game gun, so I don't know. But just I saw him have it, and I was like, bam, he's still got it. So that's kind of cool. They threw in a little Easter egg from the games and that.
Let's see. Other things that I liked. I don't remember if he injected him. Dr. Birkin injected himself with the G or the T virus. I'm pretty sure it was the G virus.
I think it's the G. I can't remember, or it's
because I feel like the T virus was later on.
I can't remember the whole order of the viruses because there's like so many different ones throughout the games and everything like that. So I get confused with a lot of them. But yeah, I want to say it's the G virus.
I may or may not be looking it up right now. So it looks like it was the. Hold on.
That's a phone call.
All right, we're back. So I looked it up, and it looks like the T virus was first, and then it became a various strain. Because they created the T virus.
He had the G virus in his little case. I remember seeing one of the blue ones in it, one of the blue capsules, and it said G virus on it. But I don't know if that's what he gave himself because, and spoilers for this part, at the end of the movie, Wesker was dead, and then he gets brought back to life.
Oh, you know what?
Wesker's given a totally different strand, so I don't know if Birkin gave himself another strand too,
So it looks like Birkin gave himself the G virus because there's only two people that have successfully hosted the G virus, and it was him and Curtis Miller. Those are the only two that have successfully hosted the T virus, the G virus, excuse me. Just because of how
you're saying him meaning.
Dr. Birkin?
Or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Birkin and Curtis Miller are the only two that successfully hosted the G virus.
I can't remember who Curtis Miller is, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay. He's he was just a survivor from the Raccoon City incident. So,
gotcha.
And basically he just injected himself with a sample of the virus. And then he fell. Super dead.
Gotcha.
Yep. Anyways, so with that being said, I really liked when he injected himself with the G virus, and just like his first transformation with like sick ass arm with eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that just looked so cool to me.
It was so dead on with what he looked like too in like the Resident Evil 2 remake that they just came out with a couple years back. But yeah, he was like spot on with what he like transformed into from that game.
Yeah. No, it looked badass. A lot of times
I loved it.
There's I hate doing this, but I feel like a lot of video games have taken from Resident Evil in just little ways, small ways. For instance, Dying Light 2. There's the villain in the game that you basically you just inject yourself with an antidote to heal yourself so you don't turn into a zombie, and you have to do it, every like I'm gonna say like 14 hours, or you have to stay under UV light. Again, video game, so just roll with it. Anyways, the villain of the game, he is a doctor that has created strains of the mutated virus and has been just injecting himself with it. So he is just like this badass, indestructible man. And the only way to defeat him in game is to just keep making him inject himself to where he can't contain and control the virus, and it just mutates so rapidly that it kills him. And I was thinking, what if I almost called him Wesker. What if what is his name?
Birkin.
What if Dr. Birkin just kept injecting himself? Would those eyeballs grow eyeballs? Think about it, Garrett.
I mean, his face grew a face, if you remember. His face, like his original face, is in his belly, and then he has a monster face up top after.
Yeah, no,
so maybe. I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Throughout the games, too, the mutations of the zombies and stuff like that with the other viruses and stuff, they just get more and more grotesque and turned into, like, the weirdest fucking things.
They get wild. Towards the end of the movie, when they finally get on the underground train, that's just like an armored train that was just specifically built to withstand a nuclear implosion, but yet a genetically mutated man can rip it open like it's a fucking can of soup. He just fucking peels the hood off that car like it's fucking nothing, dude.
He did it too in the games. That was one thing I really liked about that scene, was it was pretty spot on from the games, because they even like Leon in the Resident Evil 2, he kills Birkin with the, was it Birkin or was it, I think it was Birkin. I'm trying to remember if it was him or Mr. X at that point. I can't remember. No, I'm pretty certain it was Birkin on the train. Anyways, regardless, there is a creature. I'm pretty sure, almost 100% positive it was Birkin at that part, but Leon did blow him up with a rocket launcher. So I kind of liked how he just shows up with the rocket launcher on that scene and then blows him up and fucking kills him.
So that was one of my very last likes. I still have one more, but it was that Leon getting the rocket launcher from First Class and just blasting Dr. What's his face? I can't remember his name already. I keep forgetting. I am
Birkin.
Dr. Birkin. Thank you. Birkenstocks. Gotta remember that. And then last but not least, getting another phone call. Go ahead and answer this one.
Killing it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our intermission. Hope you're comfy. Now it's time to grab a beer from the fridge. And if you're too young to drink, grab a Capri Sun. Join us. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. Last thing, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Last thing. Post-credit scene when Wesker comes back to life, and then he enters the Matrix with Ada Wong. I really enjoyed that. Now, I know we talked about this today, that one part, because you didn't watch the post-credit scene, and you thought me and Richie were just completely bullshitting you.
I did, yeah. No, I didn't watch it. I had to go back and watch it after.
I've got, thanks to Marvel, I have just become so accustomed to not only watching for one post-credit scene, but two after, like, all of the credits. So, kind of sucks that I'm acclimated to do so, but I did stay and watch that. Actually, truth be told, I fast-forwarded till something happened, and something did happen, so I rewound it and watched it.
Done the same thing, yeah. I just had to look it up on YouTube after.
Yeah, I mean, we rented it for, what, 48 hours, so it's already came and went, so.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just a big old fucking... Anyway, sorry for blabbing on for so long. Garrett,
no, you're good.
Tell me what
likes
you like.
that you didn't go over for me. Definitely location. I loved in this movie how accurate all of the locations were.
Every single one.
From the RPD, which I heard that Capcom gave the director like the blueprints to the main hall, the Spencer Mansion, and the RPD, so he could just pretty much make it to a T. I absolutely loved the way they looked because it was so spot on with how they were in the games. It didn't really explore too much of the Spencer Mansion, but that's okay with me. I still love the way it looked and everything. The RPD was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. I wish it would have explained why it looked the way it did. In the games, it explains the RPD used to be a museum. That's why it's got like the giant sculpture behind like where Leon was sitting and everything like that. But that's okay. I was still super happy with the way everything looked. The characters, like I said, for the most part, I liked all the characters and how they looked and everything. I guess my number one nitpicking character would be Leon's character.
Ah, come on.
What?
Come on.
The only I didn't mind by the end of the movie his character, but if you've played Resident Evil 3, there's this character Carlos, and the guy they picked to play Leon looks exactly like Carlos did in that game. So the whole time I see him,
there, Garrett.
I just see him as Carlos.
No,
And I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. What I'm saying is, like, his hair, spot on. Just everything about him, spot on with how Carlos looked in that game. Now, I'll admit, by the end of it, I don't mind him as Leon. I didn't really like how they wrote Leon in this movie. They kind of wrote him as kind of like,
a
I don't know, kind of
pussy.
just, yeah, and dumb and stuff like that. I didn't like that.
Okay, but in fairness, Leon is dumb, but like they made him dumb.
At first, yeah. I mean, he's a rookie cop, literally. That's supposed to be his first day on the job and everything. But at the same time, like,
What a shit day to start, though.
Oh, I know, right? So in the game, by the time he gets to the RPD, the outbreak's already happened. Like, there's nobody else there. Chris's team isn't there, anything like that. Like, he's just kind of running around on his own. And pretty much. So this changed that a little bit. I did like I said, a lot of the Easter eggs and stuff like that from the games. I noticed in a lot of scenes there were like posters on the background. Like I think in the opening scene where they're at the orphanage, there's that old lady watching like the Golden Girls, I think it was, or something.
Yeah.
And there's a poster on the wall behind her that shows like the first aid spray from the games and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. There was a couple posters, but not only that, a lot of the other things too. Like there's a scene where Wesker plays on the piano.
Yeah, he does
and
a
he
little
plays,
tune and it.
Yeah, he plays the Moonlight Sonata from the game. I really like that, even though he didn't play the tune in the game, but that's okay. What the shotgun that Leon found that was like in the wooden crate and everything, which I thought was hilarious. And then like Claire picks up like these shotgun shells in a box of shotgun shells that look exactly like they did in the game, which, like I said, a lot of little stuff like that I really did like. I heard that the director really enjoyed the games and he wanted to stay true to them to the utmost that he was able to do. But, you know, there were some things that fell through the cracks for me that, I don't know. I guess, once again, I'm just nitpicking because I've played the game, so I expected certain things and stuff like that. But I won't get into that right now. Overall, just the story, I did really enjoy that. I was kind of hesitant at first because for me, the first game takes place in the Spencer Mansion, but it does not take place on the same night that Leon starts at the RPD in the second game. It takes place, I think, like 3 months in advance. So by the time the city's in lockdown and everything and it's about to get nuked, Chris is long gone. He's like in Europe at this time, trying to hunt down like Umbrella and shit, and a lot of other stuff's happening on that front. So I liked that they were able to kind of bring the two games together and make them happen at the same time and stuff like that. I understood where he was going with it. The only thing I didn't really like was that they now can't do like the third game. They have to skip straight to the fourth one. Which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, I guess I get it. I would say the second one and the first one are better than the third one, but once again, that's just me kind of being nitpicky because I've played some of the games. I played a lot of the games, but regardless. But I still liked the story. I still liked all the characters. I thought everybody was pretty believable in their roles. I read some stuff that people threw a big fit about the chick that was cast as Claire Redfield because she was too old for the character. I didn't think she looked too old. I thought she was fine. I thought everybody, like, age-wise was fine with the characters they were playing and everything. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it was different for me the way the director took it, but I didn't hate it. I was actually a pretty big fan by the end of it. The first half of the movie I really liked. The second half I felt like was really rushed, but still I did enjoy it. I had a good time watching it. I sat through the end of it, and I was definitely wide awake the whole time, waiting to see what would happen next. Because
so bored you didn't even watch the post-credit scene.
I didn't watch the post-credit scene, no. By the time I finished this movie, it was really late, and I was already in bed because I watched it in bed, so I just passed the fuck out. But regardless,
that's a dangerous game that you play.
Now.
That's a dangerous game. Trying to watch when we do our podcasts. What movie was it? It was the last one that we did, Death on the Nile or whatever. Yeah, I watched that one in bed, fell asleep. Woke up the next morning and I had what? I had exactly the time of the movie to start it before you got here. And then I like being fashionably early. And it took you almost 2.5 more hours to get over here so we could film. And I realized, I could have slept in because this is 5 hours I could have had. I could have slept in. I could have gone and grabbed some lunch. I could have came back, watched the movie, fully awake, and just enjoy it. Instead, I wake up at 10 o'clock, which it's not an unreasonable time to wake up. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to sleep in a little bit, though, And I immediately started the movie because you're like, I'll be there by 1:30. And I was like, cool. So I was like, this movie's like 2.5 hours long, and I still have to have time to shit, shower, and shave before Garrett gets over here and just be ready to film in 30 minutes. Literally got everything set up and ready to go. And then he texts me. He's like, I'm running a little bit late. I'll probably be there more like around 3:30. I was like, this motherfucker.
In my defense, I had to get a ride from my mom because my car was in the shop. That wasn't on me. That was my mom.
You know what? That's fair. But also, I get a text saying, "Hey, I'm running over to my grandma's house real quick. I'm gonna go see my grandma."
Once again, that was my mom.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just giving you a little bit of shit, but back to my base point. But it was nice seeing
my grandma that day.
That's fair. That's fair. But my point being, it is a dangerous game to watch a movie that we're gonna do a podcast in bed before, because I when I sit out in the living room and watch it on the projector, not flexing, I'm just stating facts. I just take notes on my phone because I find that to be easier than trying to write them down in the pitch black. So like I don't understand how you watch the movie in bed and take notes, because like I have my book next to me ready to take notes. Just don't do it. I just don't.
Anymore, I rarely write stuff down when I'm watching it. I usually wait till the end because I'm trying to pay attention throughout the whole movie.
That's like when we went to the movie theater and I took my notebook in.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that. Whenever we went to see Batman, I waited till I got all the way home.
Then you're just like, this, and this. I'm going to write this stuff down later.
Yeah, pretty much. I just had to remember. But that's pretty much all I had in my likes. Like I said, obviously you went over stuff that I liked as well. Yeah. But that was pretty much it. Tyler, what'd you dislike about this movie?
That's a good burp. So just a couple of things, nothing too crazy, and I really hope your dislikes aren't that long. So at the beginning, if you've noticed, they did like the weird camera zooming in, like especially when Claire was in the truck with the truck driver, it just kept doing that slow zoom in on their face, and like anytime it switched back and forth between people, it just zoomed in on their face real slowly. I don't know why. But I absolutely fucking hate that. It's like this really.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's
It's-
kind of an old. That's what I was saying. I actually liked was some of
Yeah.
the camera angles and the
And-
way they shot some
when
of the
you
stuff
said
because it was
that-
kind of old school.
When you said that, I was like, oh man, I cannot wait to get just a little bit of grief for saying that I didn't like that. Because when you chimed up about it, I wasn't hyping that up at all. I fucking hated it.
No, I understand why people wouldn't like
But
that.
it was
I get
so.
it.
Here's the
It's-
thing: it was just that scene in particular that I hated it. Like, it was like the truck driver was like, it gets lonely out here, and like puts his hand on her knee, maybe, and then it was just like the slow zoom in on him, just being real creepy, and then it was a slow zoom in on her, just being, I'm about to get raped, and I was just like, why is it slowly zooming? Is this isn't? There's no suspense here. And then they ran into the zombie, and I was like, okay, maybe there was, but
That's all of that.
that's we're done with that now. And I didn't notice.
Claire could kick that dude's ass.
I wanted
She's
him.
badass.
I wanted him not to die, and I wanted him to just be like one of those guys that gets bit, and they're like, "No, I know what happens," and just pop them. That's not what happened.
That is not what happened. His character was from the games too. That was another little thing they threw in.
I did say, again, the annoying truck driver, one of my dislikes. He was just annoying. I mean, just everything about him. Didn't like him.
Yeah, I get that.
The creepy balding redheads that were next door neighbors with Chris Redfield.
I didn't like them either. That was so, I don't know. It was so weird.
was
I
like-
just hated that scene altogether too, because Claire was so calm about it the whole time too. Even whenever the little kid was under the table, and she's just like, "Hey."
So let me just ask you
okay?
something. Are you familiar with Raggedy Ann dolls?
Yes, I remember those.
Okay. Do you remember the wooden ones that had like red straw hair that your grandparents would just have like sitting up that said like it would hold a sign and it would say like pantry or welcome.
Oh
or something, those
yes, I
ones?
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you put like on the edge of something and its legs would dangle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So hear me out on this. They made bigger ones, about 3 foot tall, straw hair ones that had like a wooden bottom, so you
Jesus.
could literally just set it down somewhere. And my grandma's always said hi on it. You could change it, or you could change out what sign she said. She had like 6 or 7 of them. Never knew that. So anytime that we would spend the night at my grandma's house, my brother would scare the absolute piss out of me every time until I realized what was happening. And it took me almost 10 years to figure it out. But basically what he would do is he would go and change the sign and move the doll. And we would sleep downstairs. And the downstairs has probably 6 or 7 rooms. And me and my brother slept 2 rooms apart.
Jeez.
You got the bigger room, and then in between us was like the crochet and crafting room, and then the other room was like the storage room where they put all their Christmas, Halloween, all the holiday decorations.
Yeah.
And then there was my room whenever we stayed over there. And then the guest rooms were on the other side. And so at night, my brother would creep up to the kitchen, go grab the Raggedy Ann doll, grab the signs, and just change them. And I would get up multiple times every night to go and pee and get a cup of water. And every time I got up, that doll was moved with a different sign. And it would get closer and closer to my room until one morning it was just in my room next to my bed. And that is the first thing I saw when I woke up. And it absolutely terrified the shit out of me. And he did
Yeah, that
this.
freaked the shit out of me too.
He did it for 10 years anytime that we went over there until I was probably about 12. And I realized that one day I saw my grandma changing out the signs on it. I was like, that's what he was doing. And yeah, so when I saw that, I immediately thought of the Raggedy Ann dolls. And I thought, oh, good, there's 2 of them. I fucking hate this. And that brought up some repressed childhood memories that I never thought I would think of again. So
They were just creepy.
They were so fucking creepy. And it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like I am petrified of Raggedy Ann dolls or anything like that. Just to have one be the first thing like you wake up and see, and have it just like moved around the house while you're trying to sleep is kind of terrifying. So
Yeah, no, I get that.
for me, that's why I hate horror movies. It's just like, oh, you want to watch Annabelle? No, hard pass. Hard fucking pass.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. I just thought I would bring up a repressed childhood memory for everybody listening.
Just bring it to light. Hey, man, you got to talk about it. I get it.
Hey, yeah. I know some people probably thought like the CGI was good in this movie. Let me just emphasize that this movie had a budget of $25 million and was made a year ago. The CGI on that dog was piss poor. It just
I wasn't.
So I
I
paused
wasn't a
it.
big fan of that.
I paused it at one point, and you could see the overlays of like all the different CGIs at one point when it was barking at Captain Irons. And if had I not paused it, probably wouldn't have noticed it. But after I unpaused it, all I could see was just piss poor CGI, and I could not stop. And I just disliked any scene with the dog in it because I just look back on it very unfondly and think of how bad that CGI was.
The liquors were really good, but I was not a big fan of the
the liquors
dog at all.
The liquors were incredible. Even like when they got in the orphanage and just ripped Captain Irons and just dropped his head. Everything about that, cool. It was good. It looked great. Honestly, even the CGI on Dr. Birkin, fantastic. But just
his was really good too.
It was just like, okay, we're not gonna pay attention to a whole lot of detail unless it's major to the plot. Okay, this dog, you over there, Timmy. First day on the job, go ahead and knock this out. I just need a dog in a scene for 30 seconds or so. Here's some 3D renderings of it. Don't make it too terrifying. Make it, like rabid, and do some glowing of the eyes, but don't make it too obvious. But we want them to know it's a zombie dog, okay? Okay, cool. And that's it. That's the only, that one guy had one job, and he did not do a great job at it. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's just...
No, I get it.
If you think... If you watch this movie and you're like, man, this was like, you see all the different scenes and how incredible everything was shot and how it looked and how it was filmed. Shit, they could have just got a real dog and in post just like zombified it a little bit and called it a day. I've seen him do it in so many other movies. They couldn't have just gotten a Rottweiler or I don't know what kind of dog that is. I'm not a dog guy. But anyways, I'm done with the dog. They could have done a better job. Final opinion on that. So, last but not least on my dislikes. And then I have a fun fact for you when you're done with yours.
Okay.
When Wesker could have shot Dr. Birkin before he injected himself with the G virus, they both did a Mexican standoff and just shot each other in the sides. And then Dr. Birkin fell to the ground. And then he shot his wife in the face and then was thinking about shooting the kid. And then, Jill walks in and pops him in the side again. And you're just like, damn. They don't, he walks over right before Jill comes in and shoots the guy 3 times in the chest. Why not just go for a headshot after you know he's injected himself with something? You literally see it fall out of his hand.
He did shoot him again 2 more times after, because it pans over to the kid that's hiding behind the thing, and when he sees that he injects himself, you hear 2 more gunshots go off. It doesn't show it, but like I said, it shows the little girl hiding. Her name was Sherry. It shows Sherry hiding, and she's got her hand over her mouth, and you hear 2 more gunshots go off. So I'm pretty sure he did shoot him again, but it doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah. I was just a little upset that, he couldn't have just fucking murdered
I
that
was
guy
upset
like he did his wife.
by a lot of that. It didn't show Nest, which is really where that whole thing was supposed to take place, which is a giant lab that's under Raccoon City. That's why that's their main base of operations, is because they have this huge lab down there where they're doing all this tests and stuff like that. It didn't show that, which I was okay with. Okay, you don't have a big budget, you don't want to show it, whatever. What I didn't like was kind of how Wesker's character was always that character good gone bad, kind of thing. But I didn't like how he went bad in this game. And I'm pretty certain, and I looked it up, and it was almost confirmed that, how he was getting the pages on his pager to feed him the information. Then he got that like Palm Pilot looking thing, if people remember what the fuck those are. I'm pretty sure it was all but confirmed that was Ada, who he was working with. So Ada was the one that was using him to get the G virus, which in the original Resident Evil 2 game, she was using Leon to get the G virus. So it was a little bit different. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really like all of that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, how he got infected with his own, like I said, strand of the virus and everything that made him a little bit different than everybody. I wasn't the biggest fan, but then again, like I said, I didn't hate it. It's just story wise, it's like the only place they can really go from here is the fourth game, of course, that just centers around Leon and then Ada. From there, I mean, if they wanted to skip straight to 5, they could. It just wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense to,
Yeah.
So I don't really understand where they're going to go from this. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I read, and my brother told me that for sure the next movie the guy's making is going to be a Resident Evil 4 type movie, but of course it won't be like number 4, because I don't know if this is going to be a whole thing where he's going to redo, or he's going to put all of the games into movies or what. But yeah, I don't know. It just confused me as to where they're going from here.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the fourth game is what's going to come next in, live action form.
I have one more thing, but it's more like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Brad Vickers' character, the pilot,
Yeah.
I don't know why, and it didn't bug me, and I didn't dislike it, but I need it to be known. He was playing Snake on a Nokia, I believe.
Yeah.
And you would have thought that he would have heard something while he was out in there, just waiting in an open field, big enough to land a helicopter. You would have think he saw anything. And then just a zombie arm punches through and grabs him, and just, I believe it bites him, but I could be wrong. And then he just...
I don't think it showed it, but yeah, it's pretty much implied.
And then he just fucking flies it into the mansion. And when I think about that, I would just been like, damn, if I was a helicopter pilot, the first thing I would do would be like, hey, here's the deal. You guys are going in there. There's some weird shit happening. I'm going to hover about 15 feet in the air, maybe higher. And you guys just flash your lights at me when you're ready for me to drop down.
Maybe he's trying to conserve gas.
Hey, I mean, I don't doubt that one bit. But still, I don't know why. I just needed it to be stated that it bugged me. That's all.
I get it. As far as my dislikes go, like I said, I did like where the story went and stuff like that, but I really wanted it to be like really, I don't know, I wanted it to be a little more video game accurate and stuff like that, because the timeline would make so much more sense. Like I was just saying, I kind of don't know where they're going from here. Like they could go to the fourth movie or the fourth game, but that really, I felt like this movie was setting up something more where we see all these characters, progress into something more than what they were before, obviously, all these events and stuff like that, and they come out stronger and everything. And then, like I said, it shows Wesker, after, he gets injected with the virus and everything else too. So I don't know. I would have rather the first movie have just been like the first game and really just dove in on that. I think that would have been cool. 100%. And then maybe the next movie you come out with, it be the second game, and really just ran it like that. I understood, and like I said, I didn't hate that he put them together. It's just timeline wise, I just don't really see, where they're going with this from here on out.
Yeah.
I didn't like, this was something that really, really made me mad, is that we never got to see a Mr. X. For those of you that don't know who that is, he is a tyrant that is infected basically with the virus. But he is like a 7. How tall would you say Mr. X is? Like 7.5 feet tall, maybe even taller than that. A humongous dude that wears a bowler hat and has this big black trench coat. And he doesn't speak. He just chases you.
So
and he doesn't
looks
doesn't run. Huh?
Mr. X is 7 foot.
So he's 7 feet tall?
Yeah.
Okay, he's probably 7 feet tall, like 300 pounds. He's a huge dude. And like I said, he doesn't speak. He doesn't show any emotion or nothing. He just walks at you. He doesn't run. He just fast walks at you like Jason Voorhees or something like that.
Imagine if you've ever played, what was it? Fallout?
Never have.
I was just doing it for the viewers or for the listeners.
Yeah. No, I know.
There's like a robot guy that's like a detective in Fallout 4. He just looks like a synth. Imagine a rock statue about 7 foot high, looks like Thanos, but kind of like a marble bluish color. And now imagine him
look like Thanos.
Imagine a 30s kind of vibe detective, just walking kind of fast at you. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
pretty much. He was like Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like Lord Voldemort, 7 foot high, just jacked out of his fucking mind, with the body of Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but also
Pretty much.
the height of Yao Ming.
Yeah.
It's fucking
But-
terrifying.
He is, and he's a very terrifying character that I really wish would have been in this movie. And I know, like, they didn't spend a whole lot of time in the RPD, the police station, which was kind of a letdown because that's pretty much where I would say more than half of the second game takes place and everything, and they didn't really explore it. That's fine, whatever. I still like the way it looked and everything, like I said, but it would have been really cool if, like, before they left or something like that, they saw that character, and maybe that's why they had to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's like also, you know, as far as like the standpoint of where did they go from here, they can't even do, you know, the Nemesis character, which is another tyrant, freaking humongous guy that he even looks more gross with like no lips and just teeth and these weird eye, and he's
He only
also
has
like
one
7
eye,
feet tall, and yeah,
the other one's just kind of like a marble, a yellow marble in his eye.
yeah, he looks so weird, but he's another just petrifying character that just chases you around and tries to kill all the STARS members. So they can't even do that though, because the third game takes place during that, and like I said, chronologically it just wouldn't make any sense now because the nukes already went off, Raccoon City's gone. So and the main character of the third game was Jill, so it wouldn't make any sense because she's, you know, in the mansion throughout the whole movie until the end and everything. So they pretty much have to scrap both those characters, which I really hated. I really wanted to see those characters in this movie, and of course we didn't get that.
Well, in fairness, Nemesis looks like what my Hot Pocket sees before I eat it, so I'm all teeth before I am
Nemesis
lips.
looks like the Hot Pocket that explodes in your microwave.
Yeah, no, you're not. He looks like the corn dog that you put in there for way too long that just kind of splits in half.
Yeah. I didn't like I said earlier, I kind of went into it. I didn't like how Leon's character was written in this movie. I didn't like how he really in the games he really rises to greatness, and you know, he starts out as this, I don't want to say kid because, you know, I think he's in his 20s by the time the second game happens, but he really is this character that starts out as just kind of a nobody, you know, kind of kid who doesn't really know what's going on. I mean, obviously this is his first day on the job in a town he's unfamiliar with, and then all of a sudden there's a zombie outbreak and he has to survive, and then obviously all these other, you know, conspiracies and mysteries become uncovered and everything along the way, and giant tyrants chasing you and everything. But then this run kind of just made him as just kind of like you said, he's just kind of a pussy. He's just kind of that dumb kid. And I don't know, like the whole scene whenever the guy's in the prison cell and he goes to let him out, and then the other prison cell eats the other prison mate, or prison mate eats the other prison mate, and then he gets out and Leon's just like, whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy, man. And then just like backs into a desk and jumps on the desk. I'm like, why is he so dumb? He wouldn't do that in the game. I don't know. He just didn't seem like the smartest character to me. He kind of redeemed himself with the bazooka thing at the end, but still, I was kind of just like, do more, you know? Like Chris's character, he was a badass throughout the whole movie. He did really good, but then, I don't know. I just feel like Leon never got his time to, you know, be that hero that
I was about
for
to say,
me personally, like
he
I
never
said,
got his
somebody
time. He never got his time to shine.
Exactly, and they just kind of skip that. And I don't know. It's just, that's why I'm saying. So like story wise, if you go to the next movie, by the fourth movie, he's a full blown badass. So it's just there's a gap they have to bridge now, and I don't know how that's really gonna work.
A 3-minute flashback of everything that happened from
Probably.
then to now.
Probably. The last thing I didn't like was that it tried to give some sort of weird backstory to Claire and Chris being in this orphanage with Dr. Birkin.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. That's not anything I've ever seen before, so I'm pretty sure that was made specifically for this movie. And I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of that. I don't know. It was just very weird for them to have grown up with Birkin, and it's just I don't know. It's just strange to me. I just didn't like that little side plot kind of backstory with them and everything. I don't know. I just didn't really like it. I didn't think it was needed that much, but it is what it is. That's pretty much all I got for the dislikes, though. Like I said, you kind of brought up some stuff. Tyler, what would you change about this movie?
You know, just from the standpoint that it was trying to base itself off a video game, and it did a pretty okay job at it. There's not much, just the better CGI on the dog. That's really all I got, man. I don't want to change too much about it because, like you said, there are things that you wish that they would have done differently that I agree with. So I've got really nothing to add to what you said thus far.
As far as it being a movie that's based off a video game, like I don't want anybody to think like I said, I've played the game, so I expect something a little bit different. If you have no knowledge of the games, if you've never played any of them, and you just want to watch this movie, you will enjoy it.
Yeah,
of course,
100%.
that you like zombie movies and stuff like that. But it's just like, you know, if they remade one of your favorite movies of all time, you would expect something out of it that maybe they wouldn't deliver, and that would kind of rub you the wrong way. It didn't necessarily rub me the wrong way, but there was just stuff I kind of nitpicked at that I wanted a little bit different. But overall, it's a good movie. I get it.
So,
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, what I would change personally, though, for me, would be that it did follow the games a little bit more. And I'm not saying it didn't do a good job at it. It did do a good job at following a lot of the stuff. And like I said, I understand why they kind of combined some stuff and whatever. But I just feel like it would have been better if this movie would have just been based on the first game. And then from there, you could have moved to the second movie, which could have, you know, if you wanted to combine the two movies at that point, obviously the first movie probably being a success because it would be more like an actual just a horror movie with these characters getting killed off and kind of all being in this Spencer mansion kind of running around with, you know, zombies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then if you move to the next movie, you could have done, you know, Resident Evil 2, where you have Leon and Claire, and then you also could have incorporated, you know, some of the returning characters from the first movie and you could have ran the second and third game at the same time, because those actually do take place at the same time and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then we could have seen, you know, Leon being a more leading role in the movie, and he could have, you know, like I said, progressed into that badass we all know and love from him, you know, later in the games and everything. But that's just, I would have followed the games just a little bit more, because it would have made more sense, and I feel like it would have given them more room to kind of pave the way and where they were going to go from there. Another thing that I would have changed probably was just at the second half of the movie. Like I said, it just felt like it was rushed.
And it probably
really
honestly was. Just because they were like, fuck, how are we going to fit all this in with the... there was
and
a lot of
I
stuff
get
that
it.
They should have sped up some stuff and slowed down some other stuff. But yeah. You're completely correct.
Yeah, and once again, I feel like if they would have just really stayed true to the first game and just based this movie off that, I feel like it, you know, they would have had plenty of time to be able to show a lot of things. But yeah, once again, that's kind of, it's like I said though, as far as like video games being made into movies, this is one of the better ones. I think everybody's seen a movie that was based on a video game, and it was just absolutely garbage.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Garrett, because I was just about to.
Yeah, no, there's tons of movies that are based off video games that are absolute garbage. This is one of the better ones that I've seen.
Let me just start off with something real quick. So we have done this before, where we have rated games, or we have done a movie based on a game. If you can remember your stupid little one that you did, that I forgot to watch, called Monster Hunter.
That was one. Yeah, we did.
We
another
also
one
did
too,
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Also didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we look statistically at
you never watched Mortal Kombat? You still haven't?
No, I don't plan on it either.
Oh my gosh!
The best one was the one that was made in 1995, and
that was a good one. Yeah.
Well,
that's
here's
definitely
the thing.
my favorite still. But anyway,
based off live action games, based off of video games, very loosely, the live action ones that did the best, according to, I hate using Rotten Tomatoes because sometimes they're very biased.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use it for this example because I feel like it's pretty accurate.
Probably Sonic.
Sonic is in there, both of them. But there was a movie called Werewolves Within, which was a comedy horror with the AT&T chick. It was. Oh, it was based off.
I think I saw a trailer for this, but I've never seen it.
It was based off the an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive, whatever. It was a virtual reality game that was based off of. It was rated 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Second was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 at 69, then Detective Pikachu at 68, followed by Sonic the Hedgehog at a 63, and then Mortal Kombat, the one that you watched, was at 54%, and then Tomb Raider at 52%. Every other one, like, even the new Uncharted, Resident Evil, Prince of Persia, all of them. Shit, Need for Speed is on this list. Hitman is on this list. There's one that I'm sure nobody remembers, but it was released in 2010 called Tekken.
Yeah, I watched that movie.
Had $1 million, it had a budget, and it only made $1 million in box office, and absolutely fucking bombed. It got a 0%.
I didn't think. I will admit, I remember watching that movie. I actually own that one and the second one on DVD. I didn't think it was the most garbage video game movie ever, but no, it was not good.
Again, loosely debating it off.
Yeah.
Instead of Metacritic, I base it off Rotten Tomatoes because they're a little less, But anyways, regardless, there's a lot of things like the Assassin's Creed that came out in 2016. With what's his face? Can't remember his name. Not a great movie. Michael Fassbender is the guy that I was saying. It could have been better, but unfortunately, it was not. But
Yeah.
there are some movies that are good that are based off video games. Unfortunately, I will not do a movie review on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 unless somebody pays me and Garrett $20 to do so. And with that being
I haven't
said,
seen the first one.
I watched the first one. I have no
I haven't
inclination to
watched
watch the second one.
I kind of want to watch it because it's got Knuckles, and I like Knuckles. I always used to play as Knuckles.
I despise everything about what you just said. You play as Sonic or nothing. Anyways, Garrett, final thoughts on the movie?
I mean, nothing that hasn't already been said. Like I said, if you haven't played the games, you'll enjoy the movie. Of course, like I said, being said that you do like zombie movies, I wouldn't say this movie was more just of it does have its scary moments. There is some parts that maybe kind of make you want to jump. Me personally, it didn't give me that effect.
Richie,
but
I hate scary movies. I don't
yeah.
ever intentionally plan on watching a scary movie again.
Yeah.
Unless I'm paid
Well,
to.
that's why I was hesitant to tell you to watch this movie this week, because I wondered if you were going to. But then I also thought, I was like, you know what? It can't be that bad. I really don't think it's going to be that bad.
So I've played all the Resident Evil games up till 5, like we had the discussion about today, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get scared playing the games, but this, in fast comparison, I am not controlling the character. This is a fucking...
Yeah.
This was scripted and planned and had a box office budget of $25 million. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
If it were me, I would just hide in a closet. Fuck it, let them.
I did like. I will say this, and I forgot to put it in my likes though. But in the original game, like whenever they're in the mansion, some of the we'll just say enemies that they encounter are giant spiders. So I'm definitely excited that they didn't put that into the game, or I'm sorry, into the movie, because yeah, I definitely wouldn't have watched it if they did.
Yeah, I don't fucking blame you there.
Fuck that.
Anyways, with all that being said, Garrett, what would you rate this movie out of 5?
I'm gonna give it a solid 3. I'm just gonna cut it just a 3. Like I said, I did like it. I didn't hate it, but that's just kind of a biased kind of score for me, just because, like I said, I've played the games. I understand if people didn't like it. I get it. I understand if people loved it. I get it. But I'm just kind of right in the middle, you know, not a 2.5. Just I will give it a 3. Give it a 3 Chris Redfield stubbles, because yeah, like I said, I did enjoy the movie. I just wish they would have done it a little bit differently as far as the story goes.
I am in no position to argue or disagree, so I will give it 3 Chris Redfield stubble beards.
Nice.
Nothing else, nothing more. Now, Garrett, since we are at that time of the podcast, we're about to wrap things up and call it a night. Give our little outros. I do want to say this. I learned a very interesting fact that I wish I had brought up at the beginning of the podcast, but if anybody stuck around, you're in for a treat. Garrett, I was perusing Reddit, as I occasionally do. Do you know, completely unrelated to the movie, by the way, do you know what Miley Cyrus's original Hannah Montana name was going to be?
No.
Are you sure?
100% positive. I have no idea.
When I say the name, I hope it clicks a bell with you and anybody listening. So her original name that Disney had decided back in whenever Hannah Montana first started was Alexis Texas.
There's no way that's real.
That's 100% real.
Oh my gosh, that's
100% real.
hilarious.
And
so then imagine if the actual Alexis Texas went by Hannah Montana.
She just like, oh, you can't be
Would have
here.
been different.
Takes off the wig. Oh my God, it's Hannah Montana.
That would have been different for sure.
Oh,
God, that's comical. I figured
you would enjoy that.
Shattering news.
And
earth-shattering news.
I mean, shit, things would have been different. Anyways,
yeah.
for Beard and a Half movie reviews, I'm Tyler.
I can't hear Tyler in any way, shape, or form, having audio issues on my end, and I'm Garrett.
Make sure, if you guys aren't already, make sure to subscribe, follow us wherever. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to our YouTube page, Beard and a Half Movie Reviews. You don't have to put the S anymore. Really, you can type in Beard and a Half. The first ones that pop up, because, you know, we're just that good. And make sure to follow us there. Sometimes we post stuff that we don't actually post to any of our streaming platforms that you may listen to podcasts on. Also, if you follow us on our Instagram, make sure you do, because I post some dope-ass movie covers there. And let me tell you, if you haven't figured it out already, this week's is sick, bro. Anyways,
It is pretty cool. I do like this week's.
I am balls-ass tired, Garrett, and I know you are too, and you got to be up early. So for Beard and a Half Movie Reviews, once again, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Garrett.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.